ready. You ready?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Oh.
Cheers.
Cheers. And welcome
Felt good.
to another episode of Marlon vs. Marlon. And I'm your boy Marlon.
And I'm your boy Marlon.
Join us as two childhood friends go back and forth, argue, fight, debate, and sometimes maybe even agree on everything from sports, pop culture, and everything in between.
All right, today's episode, we're going to get into all of the Week 14 action. It looks like we might have already seen the game of the year and the Ravens and the Browns. So we'll get into that. Steelers, once again, they lose, so they're now coming down to life as being the best team in football. Rodgers, Patty Mahomes are still up there for the MVP race. We'll get into that. And we'll get into all the playoff implications and all that stuff too as well. So, and of course, Giannis, he signs his big deal, so we'll get into that. Harden drama, we'll get into all of that stuff. And some Versus news. We do have another Versus match that was just announced. So we'll get into that. We'll get into that. But we do want to start with a sad story that we saw.
Past weekend.
Yeah, Keontae Johnson, he actually collapsed, and I think it was I believe is he still in a coma or?
Well, they said he's up, breathing on his own now. He wasn't a medically induced coma, off the ventilators, and but they said today he's up, he's breathing on his own. He FaceTimed with some of his teammates, so that leads me to believe he's in good health, better health at least.
Right.
But yeah, just collapsed on, I believe it was Saturday during their game, during their timeout. It was rushed to the hospital. They hadn't said it was COVID related. He did test positive for COVID in the summer.
Yeah.
But they didn't say it was about that this time. So just prayers out to him, man. I hope he gets back. One of the best players in the country, a star player at Florida, man. So get well, man.
Absolutely. So, yeah, you said it all. So, yeah, so we'll get into some of this NBA. We'll start with some NBA. Giannis, he gets his big Supermax deal. I think his birthday had just passed, and all of the players were giving him pins. And he didn't know what the pins were, and they were just saying, sign the deal. So he did sign the deal. He does stay in Milwaukee. Does this change anything, or?
Yeah, he makes a lot more money now. I don't think it changes anything.
I still think they're a piece away. Still.
A piece away from what?
At least getting out the East. Because at this point, they're not getting out the East.
I think they're a piece away from competing with these two teams in the Heat and the Brooklyn Nets. I don't think they're a piece away from the title.
And then on top of that, too, you mentioned those two teams, but also even with Philly and you got Boston.
That's
so,
what these two teams are. Philly and Boston are playing behind us. That's what I was talking about. My bad.
You're good. Well, because that's you. Anyways, so but yeah. So as we look at the Bucks team now, I mean, they do have weapons. They do have for the most part, a decent team. That team is not going to get you out the West, and that team is definitely not going to help you out when you go up against the Lakers.
Yeah, man. I think all this really does is make Giannis more money. People think that this means he's locked in for 5 more years. It's not the case. Like, we've seen this before. If they lose in the first or second round these next 2 years, he's going to want to be out of Milwaukee again. Like, it's no secret. And Drew Holiday is not going to be...
He's not the answer.
The answer to all these problems. Like, this is the same thing we saw in Cleveland with LeBron. When they bring in guys past their prime, like an Antoine Jameson. And I'm not saying Drew Holiday's past his prime. That's far from the truth. But it's just not enough.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, man. I think they're like the 5th best team in the East.
Yeah.
Maybe 4th. But I definitely got Boston. I got the Sixers. I love what the Sixers did this offseason.
Nets.
The Nets.
Put them up there.
Like, man, this
Toronto,
the Heat,
Pacers.
Wow. We're not playing in the bubble anymore. I'm sorry.
I don't know. I'm just saying. And on top of that, too, I'm not gonna count my dude Rust out. Segway King.
He plays in the East.
Yeah, Washington.
I'm counting out.
I'm hoping. As you guys been listening, following us forever. I'm hoping. I'm not saying that they're going to him and Russ and Bradley Beal are going to get out the East, but you just want to see guys like that. You want to see guys like Melo, Dame end up somehow getting the ring. So But you know,
It's like a Christmas
anything's
list.
possible.
That's not true. He said that with 4 Hall of Famers on his team. What Russ did was he is now the Thunder of the East. 7th best team. He'll go to the playoffs. They're gonna lose in the second round. Best. Maybe the first round. Probably the first
If they
round.
get lucky, they could get the Bucks in the second round. And
Yeah, but they gotta get to the second round. That's the tough part.
you Charlotte, they make the playoffs.
No. Melo. I like
I
Melo.
love man him. I honestly just watching some of his preseason games. I mean, he just looks so natural. And his first bucket was a corner 3. So, I mean,
In the second game. Let's not.
well, yeah, he scored 0 points in his first game, yes, but I'm just saying his first bucket that he scored. But that's the thing with Melo. Melo can facilitate. Melo can be that guy that doesn't need to score to be effective. So,
Yeah, I do want to say I think he had 10 rebounds in his first game,
Yeah.
which is,
Yeah.
I mean, for a point guard to do that, that's always
I
impressive.
mean, shoot, 6'7". He gets a little bit of size on him. Like he's gonna be a problem come a little ways into the league. But sticking with some NBA.
Can I just say,
Yeah.
elaborate a little bit on 76ers? I think adding Seth Curry, over 40% three-point shooter for his career, adding the second two-time, or he's 3-time champion now, Danny Green,
Danny, yeah.
and then
Three different
adding
places, yeah.
adding to the bench in Dwight Howard. I think that starting lineup when you round it out with Tobias Harris, the big boy, and then with Joel and Ben, I think that's just a really solid starting 5. I don't know if their bench will help them much in games, but I really like that starting 5, and I'll put that starting 5 up against anybody in the East.
I'm about to say that. I thought you were about to say anybody, just period. But no,
Well, I'll
like,
put it up against anybody, period, too. The starting 5. You got 2 top 10 players in the league, top 15 maybe, and then you round it out with shooting and defense. I mean, Tobias Harris is 6'8", do-it-all guard, too. So it's like, what do you do? I like it.
Ben Simmons is top 15 in the league.
Oh, this is a 6'10" point guard.
I don't care what he is. He ain't top 15. I'll give him maybe top 30.
He's an all-star.
Yeah, everybody's an all-star now.
That's not
but
true.
you got to factor
There's
in
20
injuries.
people-
You got to
there's
factor in
20
injuries
There's
and
20
stuff
people
like
that
that
make
too.
the all-star game. So usually if you're all-star, you're top 20. So I don't think top 15 is a
I put
stretch.
him like top 25. I mean, he has potential. I just need to see a little more of him. Just as you say, Giannis, you've been saying this, screaming this since we started this podcast.
Yeah, people say he's the best player in the
Giannis
world.
I mean, he is winning MVPs. I hear what you're saying, but I see what people's arguments are too. He's went back-to-back MVPs. I mean, not from his shooting, but now look at like with Ben Simmons. I mean, we need to see more from you as far as your shooting aspect. You know,
But see, that's why I don't know. I don't like that. Because why is one getting MVP trophies and the other one has to do... They're out at the same time in the playoffs every year. One's not going further than the other. One's not helping their team more. Like, why does Ben Simmons need to do more than him?
Absolutely, Giannis needs to do more. I just think Giannis is just a Greek freak of nature, and he's just able to...
And a 6'10" point guard isn't a freak of nature? Sorry.
I need to see some more of him. That's all I'm saying. I need to see more. What's up, Chad? Kawhi, of course, Kawhi. I don't know anybody that wouldn't take Kawhi over Giannis in my opinion.
Wait, we talking first round, second round? Where are we talking? Regular season? Because Giannis is going to play twice the games as Kawhi in the regular season.
Yeah.
Maybe if we're talking fourth quarter, just not fourth quarter game 7s. It's an argument to be made.
Yeah, possibly. Could be added there by year 3 with that contract, so... But we'll see. So let's switch over to the West a little bit. James Harden finally came back to practice. So now we're trying to... He obviously still wants to trade, and he's expanded his list of teams. So now I believe it's the Heat, Bucks.
It's anybody. He just doesn't want to be
He wants to be gone. And it seems like there's a lot of teams that are in the East. So it seems like he wants to go out East. So do you see him... He's back at practice. You see him playing... You see him holding out.
I think he'll play. He likes to hoop, man. He's a guy that we see playing in the offseason all the time, trying to work on new things and get better. So that tells me he likes to play basketball. He's not one of these guys that's just playing for the money. when you
I would say
turn down
turn down
50
million, yeah.
a year, you tell me you're not in it for just the money. So I think he'll play. And thank God for Rockets fans, because without him and without Russ, it's a rough situation. I do see John Wall's healthy, but not enough. If Chris Paul wasn't enough, if Russ wasn't enough,
John Wall,
it's not enough.
You going down with John Wall. But I'll ask you this: and you played in a ton of levels of basketball. How would you feel being in a position like John Wall? You get traded somewhere and you got one of the best players in the league that essentially doesn't even want to be there, and people are asking, "Oh yeah, what's he gonna do? What's he gonna do?" And you obviously don't know. Like, does that change your outlook on the future and playing with this team, knowing that the best player, a top 5 player in the league, doesn't even want to play? Like, what does that do to you as a player?
Well, luckily for John Wall's mentality, he was asking for out of there before he came. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like they did the John Wall trade and now they're like, oh, I want to get out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not because of John Wall. It doesn't seem like it's because of John Wall. It just seems like John Wall wasn't enough to make him stay. But, I mean, John Wall's coming off, he hasn't played basketball in almost 3 years. So, I think his mentality is more on proving himself, not worrying about what's going on around him. So, I think that's a big deal for Wall.
Yeah, so I would just love to see Harden. I don't want to see Harden go to the Bucks. I don't want to see any more super teams formed. It seems like we have a lot of little mini super teams trying to develop. So
this is coming from a Lakers fan.
So I mean, I just think it's just kind of leave everything as is. You know, just stay in Houston, ride it out, and you know.
And I gotta walk back some comments because I watched the Warriors play the other day. The Warriors are gonna make the playoffs with Steph.
So is Phoenix out?
I don't know who Phoenix. They're not the first team I'm going to. What about Portland?
I don't think I have Portland in there. Let's look at this now.
But I'm just saying, with Wiggins, with Steph, with Kelly Oubre,
Jazz and John Wall and Boogie gonna kill for 10 or 15 games and hurt. Yeah, let's hope not. But that's what it's looking like. It's trending like that. So, let's check this out.
I don't think John Wall get hurt. He's set out for 2.5 years.
All right, so we know we got Lakers are making it. Clippers making it, Nuggets are making it. Houston is we don't know what Houston's gonna look like. OKC don't know what they're looking like. I could put the Jazz in there. Could put Dallas in there.
Yeah.
And so you saying Golden State?
I think Golden State gets a spot. I think Suns is in there too.
2 more. Pelicans, you think they got enough to make it?
I'm not talking about the Pelicans.
I know, but
I seen somebody. They got Giannis, or not Giannis. What's his name? The kid from Duke, Zion, like about to win MVP.
Nah,
like he's the second most bet on player to win MVP in Vegas right now, and that's just ridiculous. Mm-hmm. But apparently, you don't need a jump shot to win MVP, so you might get it. He might get it.
We'll see. But like I said, Portland. One thing I would hate is for my guy Melo to be matched up with somebody like LeBron first round. So we actually saw that this year, and we saw the results. So all right, so let's go ahead and get into some NFL. So we saw what most would say the game of the year in Baltimore and Cleveland. A lot of back and forth. Lamar had some cramps, had to go run.
I thought you were talking about the Cowboys, baby, game of the year. You seen that W?
How many wins y'all got?
More to y'all.
You sure?
Yep.
How many?
More.
How many?
I don't know. 4 or 5. Not much.
Man, I think we got the same.
Oh.
You know what? That's right. We do have the same because last time we both won game 3 the last time, and then we won. We got game 4. So we'll get to our game later when we're going to bring our guest Dwayne on because he's a Falcons fan. So we'll get him on to talk about that. But yeah, Cleveland and Baltimore, 47-42. A last-second safety had a guy in fantasy. He actually lost in fantasy because of that last-second safety when they was just trying to just make something happen. So I laughed at him. So
a lot of people lost in the betting world because of that last-second safety too. Well, loss would have been a push to a loss.
Yeah,
it was a 3-point spread.
Yep. So Lamar, 124 yards rushing. I'm gonna just go out there and say it. They're gonna make the playoffs.
I thought you were going to say something like Lamar isn't that damn good at quarterback.
No, Taysom Hill isn't that damn good. We'll get to him in a little bit. Taysom Hill is average. We're going to talk about them later. But it's good to see them Saints drop down to number 2 and the GOAT going up to number 1 in the
There's
NFC.
no way you can watch Lamar Jackson play football yesterday and say that Taysom Hill is trash and praise Lamar Jackson. He had like 130 yards passing.
It was less than that. It was less than that.
He might have had more rushing
He
yards.
had 124 rushing yards. I think he had less than 100 yards. He had less than...
And a big chunk of that, 42 of them came on a scramble touchdown where the defense where Marquise Brown ran for 40 yards after the catch.
When did I praise Lamar at any point? All I said was the Ravens are making the playoffs. Tell me what I said to where I praised Lamar.
Jackson, 130 yards rushing.
Is that saying he's great? A lot of people have good rushing yards. Tim Tebow probably had over 100 rushing yards at some point. All I'm trying to say is, Taysom Hill.
We need to change who votes for MVP in both leagues.
This is why I was never given the Saints credit. I mean, Philly got less wins than you got.
No, they got the same amount.
You can't even go in there and beat Philly? You Taysom Hill, you're supposed to be the future.
Yep.
Can't even get it done. So that's why I will not give Taysom Hill credit, because I know he was capable of pulling something like that. And it wasn't like it was a bad weather game. Philly's defense is not that good. Everybody that's been playing Philly is.
And it wasn't like he had pick sixes from his defense like Lamar did yesterday.
I'm not trying to praise Lamar. Anyway, I'm not trying to praise Lamar. So I still think Cleveland is going to make the playoffs. So Cleveland will get in. I do think so. Out of the Raiders at 7-6, Ravens at 8-5 now. You got Dolphins at 8-5, Colts 9-4, Browns 9-4. So those are going to be your 3 wild cards. As it stands now, you got the Browns, Colts, and Dolphins in there. I think the Dolphins ends up getting kicked out, and I think the Ravens will end up getting in.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if the Ravens make it. You just got to make him throw the ball. And you can beat the Ravens. Like, it's not that difficult.
You can. You definitely can. I just feel like they're going to turn it up a notch, which, by the way, it still pisses me off that for whatever reason, we talked about with the Mark Ingram thing, for whatever reason, they just don't want to use him.
Oh, the whatchamacallit? Yeah, the Ravens get in.
Yeah,
they got the Jaguars, Giants, and Bengals. Not because they're a better football team.
Strength of schedule.
Yeah.
They're going to get in. I think the Ravens... By the way, we got the Raiders this week on Thursday Night Football. I do think I'm about to hit up all my Raider associates, if you will. I won't even call them friends. And just let them know, let's get this bet back on. So see, Taysom is trash. He has worse than Tebow. See, Taysom is not that good. He's not.
He's a Broncos fan.
I don't give a... And
when is the last time you've seen a good quarterback?
He's just saying
When's the last
he's worse.
time you've seen a good quarterback?
Tim Tebow. And Taysom is worse than that. Tim Tebow.
Tim Tebow was a good quarterback.
Oh, a good quarterback? Peyton? Old Peyton? In 2015?
Let's move on.
It's not a good quarterback? It won a Super Bowl.
Peyton Manning in Denver is what we're watching right now with Tom Brady, with Drew Brees, with all these guys that you talk about week in, week out, and they should be retired. If you remember that season, that was a Peyton Manning season where he was a game manager. And they had a hell of a defense.
And he relied. Well, other than that, I can't think what you want to say. John Elway? You asked when the last decent quarterback. Jay Cutler?
Come on, man.
Shout out to Brandon Marshall. I've been watching that podcast you put me on.
Hey,
shout out Brandon Marshall.
Hey, Chad, man. Y'all had a tough run at quarterback, bro. Y'all still better than the Chargers, though.
Yeah, they got one win, one more win than us. They're actually technically still in the hunt. At 5-8,
that's what that third playoff spot does, man.
They're not gonna do it. That would mean all these guys gotta win out or lose out, and then they not. But Colts and the Raiders. I told you. You got 2 great rushers.
Oh yeah, I was wrong.
You got a Hall of Fame quarterback. T.Y. is back. The defense is clicking. The Raiders are the Raiders, and we're gonna show you now. On Thursday, a few days from now, we're going to get another win.
Well, I put my money on the Raiders this week.
You already put your bets in?
Mm-hmm. And the Raiders have looked bad the last 2 weeks. They lost to the Falcons too, by like 30.
And then they lost to the Colts by like 20.
Yeah, I thought they would bounce back, but after 2 bad weeks, one team you want to see come in there is Hibbert and the Chargers.
Can you put some respect on my quarterback name
Hell
and say
no.
his name right?
Was this his name? Hibbert?
Herbert.
Who's Hibbert? They're like
Roy Hibbert?
Roy Hibbert, yeah. We're talking Indianapolis.
But he don't play for the Colts.
But Roy Hibbert played for the Pacers. You don't remember?
Yes, but what does that have to do with Justin Herbert, who plays for the Chargers?
They're both trash.
All right. Anyway, so on to my game, and we'll get to my game when we get to our next guest. But
for those people in power watching, can I get an MVP vote for the NBA and the NFL since it's media, since it's the sports writers and stuff that vote for it? I think I should.
you think so?
I can do just as bad as everybody else is doing.
And now joins us now is a good friend of mine, Mr. Dwayne. Dwayne is he's a teacher, so I think especially with teachers nowadays, I think this is one of the most pivotal, nerve-wracking, call it what you want at times. And also too, he's a coach, coaches basketball, baseball, football, does it all. So Dwayne joins us now. What's going on, Dwayne? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Man, we good, man. First off, I just want to say that sorry about your Falcons. It was a tough game, ugly game, but thanks to Matt Ryan throwing some that late pick helped us pull it out.
Yeah, I hope that game helped Anthony Lynn keep his job.
No, that's the bad part. I was telling one of my other buddies, I said, if we lose, we win. Because if we went out and win all these games, let's give Anthony Lynn another chance.
Oh, this sounds familiar. Yes, you sound like me last year.
All about that. The Falcons can tell you all about that idea, how that worked out for us.
Yeah, exactly.
Losing for us helped us because it seems like every team that's 4-9 we've lost to.
That is.
I think that's true because we got a win on them too.
Yeah. It was week 1, right?
No, I think it was like week 2.
Yeah.
The onside kick.
Yep. So, looking at the landscape, our teams are nowhere near all 3 of our teams because Marlon's a Cowboys fan, so all 3 of our teams aren't in it. So, we have, as the playoff stands now, Browns, Colts, Dolphins are technically in the playoffs, but you got the Ravens and Raiders on the outskirts of the AFC. Is there a team that you think can slide in there, or do you think this playoffs are set how they have it now?
I think Baltimore is ultimately gonna slide in there somehow. I think Miami ends up falling. I think they're just a year too early. They're a year too early. But I'm saying the AFC, everybody's got Kansas City winning the AFC, Kansas City winning the AFC. Those teams in the AFC that can run the football and can keep
control the clock
and keep the ball out of Patrick Mahomes' hands, those are the teams Kansas City doesn't want to see. And if Baltimore can slide in, it's a team like that can give Kansas City problems. It's just a team that can just run the ball, and because when Kansas City gets on the field, they're going to score.
Right.
Keep them off the field.
Thanks for throwing that in there. Because they don't need much time.
At all.
Right. So, but the longer you can hold the football, that's how Las Vegas beat them earlier this year. It was nothing but let's just give Josh Jacobs the ball 45. Let's give him the ball 45 times and just let him run.
But I will say this though about the Ravens in particular, a lot of their plays are splash plays too. So you'll see the young running back, what's his name, the kid from Ohio, Dobbins, with a 30-40 yard touchdown run, or you'll see
Gus Edwards.
Yeah, you'll see Edwards with the long run. So they don't really have I guess they could, but you don't want to scale it down either. But they get big plays off that read, and with those 3 running backs they have. So I don't know if they have the type of run game like a traditional I formation like the Raiders did it with. You know what I mean? That's more of a 40 handoff type of offense as opposed
like
to.
Tennessee.
Yeah, exactly. That would be really scary because Tennessee's defense is pretty good too.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying. I know. I just, any team that can run the ball and can control the clock, you're going to keep Kansas City off the field, and that's really the only shot you have at beating them. I mean, Miami was in the game until they couldn't control the clock anymore.
Right.
And once they were 3 and out, 6 and out, instead of just prolonged drives and kept giving Kansas City the ball back, Kansas City's going to score every time.
Every time.
Yeah.
And then keep them off the field.
And they turned them over a couple of times too. It was kind of crazy to see.
And that's why I say a team like Tennessee is probably the team that I think has the best chance to beat Kansas City, because say what you want about Tannehill, he's a game manager and doesn't turn the ball over, and you got just a school bus of a running back that you can hand the ball to.
Yeah. Man. It's crazy when you see him run. I mean, it don't look like he's going fast, but I mean, he just moving. And to your point, a team that can, so the Browns and the Ravens are actually the top 2 teams that run the ball most in the league. So those 2 teams, I don't see the Browns beating a team like the Chiefs, but they could do their best at controlling the clock. But also, too, we can't overlook the Bills. I think the Bills, I was one of the biggest Josh Allen critics all year, saying that he's nowhere. He shouldn't be listed as an MVP. He's just nowhere. He's just not on the level of some of the other candidates right now at MVP and Mahomes and Rodgers. But when you look at their team, I think they might be one of the most complete teams in the AFC. So I can see them definitely giving them a run for their money.
He's probably the 3rd or 4th candidate in that MVP race, just for the record.
I can see Buffalo being able to score, but going back to how you beat the Chiefs, can Buffalo run the ball if you need to? I mean, what game have we watched where you were like, Buffalo needs to
kill some clock,
drain some of this clock?
Yeah,
no, they're not doing it.
Well, they can't run the football.
Right.
I mean, most of their run game is Josh Allen, and that's
not great. Right. So switching over to the NFC, we did see the Saints have a pretty nasty loss at Philadelphia. Packers moved up to the number 1 spot. Then you have the Rams at number 3. They've been consistent for the most part in these playoffs at 9-4. And then Washington football team at 6-7. I think whoever ends up playing them in that wild card matchup can't. Well, I don't even know if it's technically a wild card because you're gonna have that first weekend of games, and then. But anyway, so Washington I don't think is an easy win. And then after that, you got Seattle at 9-4. They're snapped back against the Jets, and then the Bucks they got to win after their bye, and then you have the Cardinals at number 7. So. With the Vikings, Bears on the outskirts, it seems as if this could be the set playoff picture for the NFC. Do you see Minnesota or even the Bears possibly sneaking in?
I don't trust Minnesota. I think Minnesota's starting to come back to where they were when they started the season, as opposed to that team that went on that run.
Because they were like 3-5, I think, when back then.
Yeah. And they lost to the Falcons. So that tells you what you need to know about Minnesota.
Right.
But Chicago, I despite last week being an outlier, Trubisky going to get you to the playoffs? I don't trust Trubisky. I don't trust Mitch Trubisky. I didn't when he was in college, and I don't now. I don't think he should have been drafted that high. I'm a Mitch Trubisky hater. I don't think Trubisky's going to take the Bears to the promised land. Now, the sad thing for Bears fans, and I was joking with you about how if the Chargers keep winning, Anthony Lynn's going to keep his job.
Yeah.
I think Trubisky can get the Bears enough wins to save Nagy's job, and last week started that. And I think Bears fans would hate that. At least the Bears fans that I know that I talk to. But I just don't think. I think the NFC is kind of set. Yeah, I think you got to wait and see who wins the NFC East.
Mm-hmm.
I think if that Alex Smith calf injury lingers, I
Yeah.
think that could be a problem for Washington. I think Alex Smith is the perfect quarterback for what Ron Rivera wants to do. He's one of the quarterbacks that doesn't turn the ball over.
Exactly.
And can we trust our defense to win a game?
Exactly.
And that's what Ron Rivera did.
That was his formula in Carolina. So yeah.
Absolutely. It was don't turn the ball over and let the defense win it. And Washington is set up to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Washington is set up that way. But if Alex Smith had started the year as opposed to starting with Haskins and then going to Allen, Washington potentially is running away with that division right now. So if Alex Smith is out and you got to trust Dwayne Haskins to get you the rest of the way, I'm not sure that Washington is good. I'm not ready to say that Washington wins that division.
Of course, and I think it's crazy because it's still anybody's race with 3 games left. So, I mean, I know Cowboys fans probably don't want to win the division, but, I mean, the Eagles are still right there, and I think the Giants have – what do the Giants have? Giants have 5 wins? Yeah, the Giants have 5 wins, so –
They're 1 game back. And that's another one that the Giants are fascinating to me. It seems like they play worse when Daniel Jones is playing.
I want to say this before we get away from the NFC East. Chase Young is the best player in that division right now, like hands down. He's the youngest and the best. Like Zeke is there, he's not playing very well. It's a a lot of reasons as to why that's happening, but Chase Young is the best player in our division.
I'm going to take it even further, and I actually wrote this in my notes. I personally think in a few years, Chase Young will be the best. I mean, I know we have Aaron Donald.
He's going to beat Aaron Donald on the edge.
We haven't, but give it a few years, he's going to be the best defensive player in the league. I mean,
we're going to talk about Chase Young like we talk about Aaron Donald.
Exactly.
And the frustrating part as a Falcons fan is before we went on that run at the end of last year, we were set to pick 2.
Ooh.
And how good is the Falcons defense if we get 6? Because we can't generate pressure.
Oh, yeah, we know.
That guy is a franchise changer.
Yep. Unfortunately.
Yeah, for you as a Cowboys fan. Yeah, unfortunately for you, you're going to see him for a while.
Yeah. So
I'm just hoping they lose a lot of games. He goes somewhere else.
Or you guys get Prescott back and you can run away from him.
I don't want to see Prescott coming off an injury and having to play him twice a year.
Yeah. I will say this, and I think it was whenever you guys had your primetime game, but just seeing him at practice and Zeke went up and he was joking around like he was on his crutch, and then Dak was like, I can walk a little bit. He was walking on that leg. That was just it was a moment that I just love to see as you never want to see people go through injuries. And Marlon, you and I, we tore our Achilles before, so we know all about having to learn how to walk again. And so just seeing that as you got any ounce of goodness in your heart, I mean, you love to see stuff like that.
Absolutely. I'm a Prescott fan, but I'm not a Cowboys fan. I know Cowboys have a love-hate relationship with him, but
I love him, man. I don't understand why people don't like him as Cowboy fans. It's kind of weird to me. Like a lot of people were hoping to see Dalton play, and then this is what we get. So I'm kind of glad they got to see why he's our backup.
Yeah, exactly.
I think if this season, and not to get off topic from the playoffs, but I think if this season shows anything for the Cowboys, is that y'all paid people in the wrong order. Dak should have got his money. I think Dallas can win games with Dak, or Dak can win games without Zeke. Zeke can't win games without Dak.
Right. I agree with you. That offensive line is beat up too. I think they only got 1 starter on there right now, so that does change a little bit. But I agree with you 100%. I don't know. I do think some of it had to do with some of these TV deals that were supposed to be coming up, and they were trying to be able to have enough room to give Dak all his money. But they definitely messed up by playing around with his money.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So before you get out of here, I need your Super Bowl prediction. We know for the most part who's already clinched divisions and this and that, but I need to know your Super Bowl prediction.
Oh man, I started this whole conversation off with teams that could beat the Chiefs, but it's is it realistic to not pick the Chiefs? I mean, they look 10 times better than whoever you put them up against.
I mean, they look okay.
And they look better than last year.
They do. Their defense looks better than last year.
Yep.
I mean, they can play defense when they want to. So I'm gonna say Kansas City, and I think they beat whoever comes out of the NFC. I think the NFC is the one that's more of a easier point. I think I'll go right now probably Green Bay. I think you go with the team with the quarterback that's playing the best. Not that that's not a slight against Brady. That's more of a slight against Arian. I think if you had a different coach, you could comfortably pick Tampa Bay. But I'm gonna go that Kansas City beats Green Bay, and it's probably gonna be because Aaron Rodgers doesn't have another weapon other than Devontae Adams. So
if you find a way to eliminate Devontae, you can win the game. So Aaron Jones, you've seen him come back down to life. He hadn't had a multiple touchdown game, I think, in a while. So I mean, I don't see the Saints, even with the healthy Drew Brees, I don't see the Saints going all the way to the Super Bowl. I do think the Rams, there's a possibility that the Rams could.
The Rams play defense. That's why they got a chance.
But do you trust Jared Goff?
That's the thing.
Jared Goff is the reason I didn't pick the Rams.
But this is when I trust Jared Goff against that Packers defense. That's not very. I'll take Jared Goff against the Packers defense and take my chances with Aaron Donald getting to Aaron Rodgers with Ramsey behind him covering Adams. I'll take my chances at that. I think that's the best defensive matchup for the Packers. That doesn't mean they'll beat them. I think it'll still be some type of shootout, but.
I think the Rams. I don't know if the Rams end up. I think the Rams end up as a wild card team. I think Seattle wins that division. If that defense is played like they're playing the last couple weeks, and
Seattle,
I think Seattle wins that division.
Seattle played the Jets and the Giants.
And lost to the Giants.
That's the plan. But Jamal Adams is.
He's a game changer.
He's my NFL version of the Mookie Betts trade. How do you trade that guy? That guy has 9 sacks as a safety.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
That's ridiculous. Then, like at the middle of the season, where the Seahawks defense was getting torched, Dunlap was hurt, Adams was hurt. There's 2 big pickups for her, and those guys are coming back, and it's looking like they're starting to get into the swing of it. When it comes down to it, I like to pick the team with a better quarterback, and I trust Russell Wilson more than I trust Jared Goff.
For sure.
I agree with that. And just as you said, I do somehow think the Seahawks will win the division, but the Rams are still a scary team. It doesn't matter where they're at.
And you still got Tom Brady in there. His name is going to be mentioned in.
By the way, hold on, Dwayne. Brady has actually. Although you played against the Vikings defense, who isn't really that great, he actually completed passes over 20 yards. They actually looked a little more complete. Leonard Fournette, actually, he was a healthy scratch, so he's going to be out there in the free agency next year. So
you got to remember too, Brady is throwing to 10 new guys essentially that he didn't have a real offseason with. Like, yeah, he played with Gronk before, but that was, 2-3 years ago?
And Gronk isn't the old Gronk.
And he isn't the old Gronk. So
you saw that. If you watched the game, there was Gronk ran a post route wide open. And Brady tried to lead him, and it was Gronk didn't have the speed to go get to it. Gronk's not the same. But Brady's throwing to a fantasy team of wide receivers.
Yes.
He is. But I think even then you gotta get some type of rhythm. And I think that, yes, it's 14 weeks into the season, which seems like a long time, but with a couple-week training camp, no preseason games at all, like it's different.
Well, that's why I think and granted, coaching high school quarterbacks and coaching the NFL is different, but the concept is the same. You got to have something pre-snap to help your quarterback read what they're going up against. And Arian, he's arrogant with his offense.
He's arrogant with everything.
Arians has to know you got all these new guys that have never played in your offense before. So give Brady just a little bit of pre-snap motion to at least figure out, are they playing man or are they playing zone? And he won't do that. It's line up, tick, 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 snap the ball, and then Brady's trying to read everything after the snap.
Yep. And it's one of those situations where we saw with, we just talked about, Peyton Manning when he went to the Broncos. Give him more, don't just show him what the defense is doing. Give him freedom at the line of scrimmage. This guy knows what he's doing. Let him change the play. Give him a couple plays to go up to the line of scrimmage with. But to your point, yeah, you see a team like the Rams, who motions 70-80% of their plays, just for that, to help their quarterback out and give him a little bit of a show what the defense is doing.
And any team that can get pressure up the middle is going to be Tampa Bay. Tom Brady doesn't like that pressure to come up the middle.
And it ain't like he's going to run around and scramble and stuff, so,
He wants to step up in the pocket.
Exactly.
And then Bruce Arians, especially when you're 40 years old and you want your 40-year-old quarterback to throw the ball 50 yards down the field, he's got to be able to step up. And I don't know. I think Tom Brady's greatest quarterback of all time. Super Bowls, all that. I think this was a match that was never going to work. Brady was not meant to run Bruce Arians' offense. It's the total opposite of what he wants to do.
And also, too, I look at they try to go after Leonard Fournette. I think Rojo has actually been playing very, very well this year. But it's when you have these receivers, this is why Jameis, and Marlon's about to look at me funny right now. This is why Jameis, for the most part, has some success in this offense, because he was able to air it out and throw these deep balls to Mike Evans and Godwin and all these, and Brait and OJ and all these guys. They had a ton of weapons on offense, but Brady just can't make these throws. And as much as you want to think that Brady's going to be there down the road, they don't necessarily have a strong defense that's going to lead them. With the Patriots, they had a strong defense that can still, granted, he did have chemistry, as you said earlier, Marlon. He had chemistry with a lot of these guys, Julian and some other guys, Gronk, younger Gronk, but I just can't see. I do think that they might be able to figure it out next year, but Brady's getting older. It's not like his arm is going to get any stronger, and I don't know.
I just think it.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I'll use Aaron Rodgers as an example. We're not questioning anything about Aaron Rodgers, right? His arm strength, his ability, or anything like that. But when you watch him working with a pattern with Devontae Adams, and then you watch him throw to a Vantez Scallion or the other young receiver there, it's just different. Yeah. Whether it's a late adjustment, and those guys are good, so they can make adjustments and still make catches, but it's not the same. You know what I'm saying? And yes, Jameis Winston was able to throw the ball deep and make some of these connections. But he was also with Mike Evans for what, 4 years, 5 years? Yeah. So you know what I'm saying? It's not, and we saw Jameis' first year. We were like, whoa, what were they doing?
Yeah.
So, and this is the other thing, well, that we're not taking into consideration. And this isn't a Brady love fest for me, but Brady was throwing to below average receivers. So a 5 yard or 2 yard, 2-step slant was different going to number 15, Harry or Henry, whatever his name is on the Patriots, than it is to Mike Evans or it is to Antonio Brown. Like, that stuff matters. You're not throwing the same ball to these guys. They're 2 steps ahead of that. You know what I mean? It's a whole different feel and throw. So, you know.
I don't know if they're 2 steps. I don't know about that.
Maybe not 2 steps. Maybe that's a lot.
There are times where you watch Brady play, and when you watch Tampa Bay, and you see Brady senses the blitz is coming, he's ready to get rid of the ball, and those receivers do not get their head around to look for the ball. And it's not a Brady love thing. I'm still hurt from the way Tom Brady came back to beat my Falcons in the Super Bowl. It's not a Brady love set. But like I said, I coach quarterbacks, and granted, I've never coached anybody like Tom Brady. But the concepts are the same. Your receivers have to know. You have to be able to see this blitz is coming. I need to get my head around because the pass may come out quicker. And it seems like Evans doesn't do that. Godwin doesn't do that. It seems like every big play that you see Tom Brady make where you're like, oh, that's the Tom Brady I remember. It goes to that Scotty Miller kid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Who reminds me of Julian Edelman.
Yeah. Yep. So, yeah. So I mean, we'll see how it all plays out. I think these last 3 weeks are definitely a lot of seedings and stuff like that. I still don't like how we have this extra playoff spot, but I mean, it does somewhat make things more interesting, and you allow a team like Arizona. I see Austin's in the comments. A team like Arizona or the Dolphins or the Ravens to sneak in and do some damage. So. But we'll see how it all plays out. Dwayne,
Arizona's the team I want to see make it, because I just want to see if Kingsbury runs the ball in the playoffs. Because in the playoffs you got to be able to run the football.
I think they'll make it, but but they're gonna make it. But what happens when you have to go up against Seattle or the Rams? That's my biggest issue right there. And I mean, I like Kyler. I love the offense. I mean, I don't have any hatred or anything towards the Cardinals,
What
but
are they in the standings?
they're seventh right now. So I mean, I don't think that the Vikings or the Bears could hop up, but I mean, unless they're a game behind the Bucks. So therefore, if everything stays the same, which it looks like this could stay the same, and even if they win out,
I don't think they win out though.
Which would be hard.
They got the Eagles, which probably win, but then they got the 49ers and the Rams.
Yeah, they're not winning out.
Yeah, I don't think
they're not winning out. But regardless, if they stick with that seventh spot, you're either facing the Rams or Seattle. So, but no, I take that back. I take that back.
The Saints.
I take that back. So how is this first weekend working of the playoffs? Don't 6 and 7 play each other?
No.
Only the 1 seed.
It's a bye.
But
So they'll play the 2 seed if they stay in that 7 spot.
Oh, they could beat the Saints.
They could definitely beat the Saints.
Y'all tripping.
They could beat the Saints.
Oh, come on.
They could beat the Saints.
The most overrated 10-win team.
You must not have watched the Steelers play this year.
That's true. Okay. But I meant in the NFC. The Saints are I think the Saints are beyond overrated. And then again, everybody's going to think it's a Falcons Saints bias.
Probably.
But I watched the Saints play when they had Drew Brees, and I was more of a hater of the Saints with Taysom Hill. Because Drew Brees can't throw the ball more than 20 yards downfield, and it was obvious.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes it easier to play decent. Taysom Hill may be inaccurate, but you do have to worry that he'll throw the ball down the field or he'll take off running.
Yeah.
This is what I'll say about Peyton or about Drew Brees' arm. All I know is, as long as he's throwing it to Michael Thomas, it doesn't matter if it's a 10-yard route, a 7-yard route. We saw last year when he had just a slow year when he had 115 catches
With Teddy. Yeah.
So
when have you ever seen Michael Thomas run a 10-yard route?
Every catch this year.
But to Marlon's credit, the offense has adjusted and shifted because we know
it's toned down.
Taysom is not throwing over 25, 30 yards. I think we all know that. So
Drew Brees.
No,
you
Taysom. I'm talking about Taysom.
I feel like Taysom has made more deep throws than Brees.
Taysom has made more deep throws than Brees.
Brees, yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. And like you say, because the defense is pressing up, so they're actually easy looks because everybody's looking in the backfield to see if he's taking off running yet.
Yeah, you have to play man against Taysom, which Michael Thomas can beat man.
Yep.
But if you play zone and you take the slant away, you don't have to worry.
Now you're in trouble. Yeah.
Because Michael Thomas isn't going to beat you deep. And you know Brady's not going to throw that deep ball. But you have to play man against Taysom Hill because somebody's got to spy that guy.
And you better hope that spy comes up and tackles.
Because, hey, he going to run straight through you.
Yeah.
Straight through you. But
I love that. That's what I miss about Dak is that 3rd and 4 when the defense covers it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the difference between, extending drives and giving the ball back to an offense like, whether it's Green Bay or whether it's, in the AFC, the Chiefs. Like, 3rd down is the biggest down in football for a reason. And when you take away half of your playbook, which is the run, when you have a quarterback that can kind of adjust and make plays, that's the reason Arizona's doing as well. I don't like Kyler Murray as a quarterback, but he makes plays with his feet. The same thing with the guy we were talking about earlier.
What?
No, before we got on the phone. Baltimore. Lamar Jackson.
Man.
I think Lamar Jackson's a terrible quarterback, but he's the best athlete on the field at all times. So it's
definitely the best.
It's tough.
Yeah.
The thing that makes Baltimore dangerous isn't Lamar Jackson. It's that offense. It's a different offense, and it's not something that you prepare for every week. And if you only have a short amount of time, it's the same reason that the option offenses work in college.
Yeah.
Because it's something you never see.
Or when we saw the Dolphins running the Wildcat in the NFL, we were like, this will never work in the NFL, but it works for a year and a half. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's something you never see.
Absolutely.
That's actually I think what it is. That is that. It's like it's the freaking Wildcat with a guy who can throw it too.
Yeah. Because most of those guys just run, and occasionally you may get like a Jarvis Landry or somebody that can actually throw it, and then end up, with a touchdown. But, right.
Man, he took that like he was just a quarterback. He didn't fake a run or nothing. He did. That was a good ball too.
That's the best pass of the game.
Right. But
I thought you were gonna say the season. Hey, in my boy Marlon's defense, though, he thought we were getting MVP Matt Ryan this year.
Look,
I'll let you talk on it. I've had y'all's back for so long. You let me down every year.
Let me tell you, I've gotten into argument after argument after argument with Falcons fans. And it's kind of like Dallas with Dak. Atlanta has this love-hate. You either love Matt Ryan or you don't. And I've had Matt Ryan's back over and over. And going into this year, I had the same mindset. I said, it's year 2 under this coordinator. That seems to be when Matt Ryan picked it up. And then he just laid a dud. Yeah. And now I'm starting to lean the other way. Like, if Kyle Shanahan gets on the phone and says, hey, we'll give you a first-round pick, I think you kind of have to consider it. Consider that pick for next year.
Heck yeah.
And I'm the biggest Matt and Julio fan. But Julio Jones is starting to become injury-prone. And if you can get a first-round pick for him, too, take the cap hit on both. Take the one-season cap hit on both. Let Calvin Ridley become your number one. And then by the time those rookies are in their second or third year, the cap hits come off. You have cap space now. Breeze is gone. Brady's gone. And you can run that division.
He thought about this. Yeah, I mean, something's got to give. Whether it's, and Ryan is getting a little bit older. He's about, 35, 36, 37? He's up there.
He's up there.
And you get
older than him.
No.
No, he's not.
He looks like it with these injuries.
You telling me Julio is 30, 37, 38 years old?
No. As far as his body, that man stays hurt.
His body, yes, but there's no way Julio is older than Matt Ryan. No way. No way.
I think you're right, but Matt Ryan, you can trust that he'll be on the field, but they're both getting up there. I think Julio's 32.
Yeah, that sounds about right. But yeah, so we'll see. We'll see how it all plays out. I mean, we're all of our teams collectively. We have
12.
Yeah,
I think 12
wins. As many wins as the Chiefs.
As the Chiefs, yep. So
maybe if we take the best players off each team, we could beat them. I still don't think we're good enough.
Who do we take from the Cowboys then?
Zeke.
That's about it.
Yeah,
Zeke. That's it. I don't want anybody else. I'll bring over Justin Herbert and I'll bring over Keenan Allen.
We don't want Justin Herbert.
Who else you gonna park?
We're not gonna win.
You gonna start Matt Ryan?
Yeah, over Hibbert. What's the name? Hibbert?
I don't know. It depends. Are we getting Matt Ryan that played last week? Because that dude forgot what team he played for.
which I appreciate that. Got me a little money in my pocket too.
Yeah. And then we're definitely not taking Atlanta's onside kick unit. They don't know the rules.
Exactly. Or y'all defense, because y'all be giving up all the points. So we'll just do either way we're going to end up losing. We end up losing anyway.
All our defenses are bad.
How about this? I bring my kicker. How about that?
No,
we want young Ho Cool.
He did play for Atlanta.
He's way better kicker than y'all.
He used to play for us, but he didn't do nothing for us.
He's only missed one all year.
Yeah, we could have used that when we had him.
If you need an onside kick, that's the guy to go to.
I just like his name.
As long as your team knows they can recover the ball.
Yeah. But all right, Dwayne, we appreciate you for joining, man, and we'll be talking soon, man.
Hey, appreciate the invite, y'all. Y'all have a good night.
All right, have a good one.
All right.
Some good.
Man. Oh, I want to say something. One of the guys in the comments said something good.
I'll show it to you later.
I didn't see it.
I'll show it to you later.
Hunter's dead on with Dak.
Hi, baby.
Hunter's dead on with Dak. We did the same thing to Romo when Romo was having shootouts when he was scoring 40, 35, 40 points a game and we were losing. He was getting the blame. You know what I mean? And it's kind of weird because we saw, like, we know that you have to get a stop. This is an offensive league. But every game comes down to a stop or a touchdown at the end. Mm-hmm. It seems like our field goal. So you just need your team to make a stop, the big stop. And the Cowboys have never been able to do that. So, yeah, you're right, Hunter. But you're not right about, what do you say?
Hunter is...
Kyler Murray for MVP is... It's a little...
Whoa!
This is what happens when you shoot live. When you, with Marlon.
This is gonna all come full circle because we obviously know that Kyler went to high school out here.
Oh, did he go to Allen?
I don't think so, but they did go to OU.
Oh, so Hunter Sooner.
So that's what it is.
Okay, perfect. Perfect segue back into Baker yesterday. That was the same exact thing. Baker played his butt off. He made one bad throw, a pick six, but he gave his team a chance to win. And if that defense gets to stop at the end of the game, we're having a different conversation.
I'm not going to kill Baker for this because I think Baker has shown us a lot over the course of... shout out. Before we get to that, shout out to you, Hunter. Hunter's been on every single week in the comments, all that stuff. We've been trying to coordinate to get him on. He's been working and stuff, but shout out to you. But I can't kill Baker because I've seen what he's done throughout the course of, what are they?
Baker's gotten better.
3. He's gotten a lot better, and I can't kill him. And this is without Odell for half the season. So, I mean, he's been between Peoples-Jones and Higbee and obviously Jarvis and Njoku's back. They have a ton of weapons, and he's been doing okay. So,
and Kyler does have good numbers, except for the record, not MVP record. Oh, we got Mrs. Williams on.
Yeah.
Oh, we got to go live so she'll watch it.
Yep, because other than that, she ain't gonna watch or listen.
Pow pow pow.
Pew, pew, pew. All right. So, what else you got with football? Chad, I saw your text. We got you, man.
What'd he say?
I'll tell you later.
Okay.
What else we got? I think that's about all I got. I think the Ravens gonna end up making the playoffs somehow. Packers they should be the number 1 seed. I think the Saints may even drop further than that. I'm just saying.
The Saints?
Yeah,
they're not gonna drop.
Yep.
Oh, they might drop to 3 or 4, but not.
Well, yeah, from number 2, they're not going to get
the Bucks.
Yeah. All right, so last thing I got.
And Julio's 31.
Okay, yeah, I was about to say, man, Dwayne was doing good up until that point. I was like, I don't know. I don't know if I'm sure Austin's still in there. Yep, Austin is in there. I don't think that. I do agree, Austin. I think he's better without Odell.
I said that 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, you did. I remember that. You did. I think it's a lot of pressure whenever you have an Odell on your team because you want to force him the ball. Because when you have people like Odell, Julio, D-Hop, you just want to feel like you can. Now, some aren't diva-ish, if you will, as Odell. But, you know,
I don't even think it's just the diva personality. I think it's so many options. Like, you don't have a number 1 guy to go to every play. Like, I think that's part of Brady's problem.
What's up, Lonnie? What's up?
I think that's part of Brady's problem too. He has a bunch of different options he can go to every single play with guys that are usually going to win their routes. So it's tough. It's tough. It's like a point guard, but without as many possessions.
True. So switching over to some news, the versus match we were going Ashanti and Keisha Cole.
I was like, what happened in the news?
Yeah,
I don't watch it.
Ashanti, Keisha Cole, we were gonna go and we're gonna watch that. Ashanti did actually have COVID, so that
is that what it was?
Yeah,
I figured, but
but there was a ton of stuff going on a Saturday night too. You had, did you watch some of the battles?
Yeah,
I didn't even.
I think K-Shine got killed by Paste. I watched a little bit of.
I heard Goods didn't. do good?
I didn't see Goods.
Okay.
I didn't see Goods. I just saw Pat Stay, K-Shine, and then the one before that. I saw B-Dot.
Okay.
B-Dot, he was a problem.
Mm-hmm.
He went up against Chilla Jones, and then the other two I didn't see.
Okay.
Out of the three.
Okay. So, but yeah, so she did come down with COVID. Shanti did. So I don't know when that's going to be rescheduled. So I think we're still waiting to see the actual date for that. Hopefully she's doing well and she's fine and doing okay. But we did get some news about a new versus.
Hunter, thanks for watching, bro. See you later.
Which is all right, Hunter. Which is going to be
the Bay Area Showdown
versus of the Bay with E40 and Too Short. So I think it's a lot of them. They all have they have features. They produce songs. They've had their hands on things. So
we're gonna hear some songs we never heard before. Let's be honest.
True.
If they go 20, we're gonna hear some songs we never heard before. I'm a fan of both.
Of course. So I mean, I think some Too Short from how many years was it? About 15 years ago at all the dripping wet parties and just all the parties back home.
San Diego when we say dripping wet parties.
Yes. Well, dripping wet functions is what they called it. But we're gonna hear Shake That Monkey. We're gonna hear just a lot of Too Short songs, and even E40. It's gonna be a good match.
And maybe I shouldn't say songs we never heard before, but songs we ain't heard in a long time. But Too Short, I think Too Short might have bigger songs.
Dree said January 9th for Ashanti Kishko, so it's rescheduled, so that's good. So
nice. Yeah, I think I'm more of an E40 fan, but Too Short I think has bigger commercial records.
Definitely.
And if E40 plays that Bang Bang Niner Gang song, I'm giving the battle to Too Short right away.
Just like that?
Yeah. I hate the 49ers.
Well, yeah. I think it's going to be... One thing that I think will happen, they're going to play certain songs that are exclusively known around the Bay Area. And so at that point, we might have heard of it, but the whole world probably was like, okay, well, what's that song?
Yeah, and we only got it because we still Cali.
Exactly.
Like, there's going to be some songs that Atlanta hears, and they're like, what the hell
Yeah, what is this? Like... Who is that? So no, that's gonna be one of the better matchups, the better verses. I don't know. Is there a certain artist or old school artist or something that you want to see go at it in a versus? Because I look at I saw a meme that said we need to see like a Ozzy Brothers, Earth, Wind and Fire or something like that.
I don't want to watch that. Just like I didn't want to watch the Gladys Knight one, if we're being honest. But I do want to see like another one of the R&B, like for the guys though. Whether it be
what's up, LP?
Oh, LP, what it do, big bro? But a Jagged Edge type of battle against a 112.
They did that already.
Did they?
It was bad, man.
Oh, I didn't see
This was before Nelly and Ludacris, and you remember Nelly and Ludacris went, but they
were in two different rooms.
Yeah, and Nelly's Wi-Fi kept going out.
I did see
and
that.
Jagged Edge and 112 did it, but it was bad, man. Just because sometimes people are trying to talk and it's bad. So
what about like a Boys to Men though? That'd be crazy in the verses. That'd be tough.
A Boys to Men versus Drew Hill,
killing Drew Hill.
I don't know. Drew Hill got
something in my bed. Somebody sleeping in my bed, and step 1 through 3.
Drew Hill got hits, man.
I said Boys to Men. Boys to Men is a problem, bro.
I know, and I'm saying Drew Hill's a problem too. So we got a lot of potential. I think this is one thing that we only have a few more episodes left before the new year. But this was one thing that I know.
It's 2 weeks away.
Yeah, a few too.
Oh, I'm about to say, man, that ain't my contract.
Yeah, you sure? I want to talk with your manager, see if we can.
Boys to Men New Edition will be crazy.
Yeah, that's something. Crazy. Yeah.
New Edition got a cheat code though. They got to play New Edition stuff. If they play all the other stuff, it's gonna be tough.
Yeah, So we'll see how all that plays out. But this was one of the biggest things that was able to keep a lot of us together, saying something positive, uplifting, just talking about these verses and all that. So But yeah, other than that, that's all I got. You got anything else?
I did have something else. I had something else I wanted to see in the verses.
R&B.
No, I want to see Wayne. I don't know who in the heck could go against him.
I thought about this. I think Wayne and Eminem will be a good one.
Wayne kills Eminem to me. A lot of people like Eminem, though, so I just don't think Eminem has the records. Like, he can rap, but
Because here's the thing. I can't put Wayne up against Drake. That's setting him up for failure.
I think that's the only person he can't go against. Like
because they're cool. But Jay-Z's not going to do that. Because Jay-Z's, I'm going to kill you.
Because Jay-Z's a billionaire. And
yes.
Need to do this.
And he's going to kill him. But I just, as I look at as far as, I don't want to see, because we saw Snoop and DMX. I don't know if Wayne's going to prison. That escalated quickly.
Well, peace. Yeah. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Wayne is going to jail.
Well then, hey, we
need to get it done quickly.
We need to get that figured out like now before he goes in. But
golly, shout out to Rowdy Rich who just got home from prison.
Yep.
Those are the kind of guys that I like to shout out on this show, not for what they did or what they went to jail for, but because of what they did not do, which was 6ix9ine, Tattletale. So
I like that meme where it's like, "Hey, free my homie so and so. What'd he do?" And he said so and so. Nah, leave him in there. Oh man. Anyways,
man, you guys to caught a body about a week ago. You just didn't know it was true.
Anyways,
yeah.
So we're going to Other than that, what else you got, man? That's
all
I got.
I have nothing thanks to Austin. I'm scared now. I'm gonna cut this episode short.
Exactly. So other than that,
be safe.
Catch y'all
This holiday, San Diego. If y'all watching, man, be safe. I seen some crazy stuff going on back home. Stay out the way. Stay out the way. Y'all in lockdown. Should nobody be at the park getting shot? Like,
it's
get
bad.
out the way.
It's bad when I see pictures of people just driving through certain areas, not driving down this street, and I was like, man. So
that was AJ.
No, other people too. I've seen other people too that I've had. So yes, everybody stay safe. The vaccine's coming out. You taking it?
Hell no.
I'm gonna take it. My wife ain't gonna take it, but.
So when it comes to Marlon versus me, and it's only me up here, we're gonna know why. He gonna sit here and he gonna type in his answers.
Oh man! But other than that, man, we'll catch y'all next week. We're probably gonna do a Monday show because the NBA season kicks off on Tuesday. So
wait. So how does that conversation go in the house? This is a good topic.
What do you mean in the house?
The virus conversation, like one of y'all taking it, the other one's not taking it, the vaccine.
It is what it is at that point. She just don't want to take it, which is fine. But
no, it is fine, Caroline. We're all about pro-choice around here. But that's what's up. I see you don't want to talk. I see you don't want to talk about it, so we'll get out of here.
What do you mean? Okay, let me turn the music down. What exactly? What exactly?
I'm saying, is it a conversation? I don't know.
It's really just personal preference. And I honestly feel it's crazy because with the way everything's going, and Parkland Hospital here in Dallas actually received, I think, 6,000 vaccines today, actually. So, of course, first responders, nurses, doctors, all that stuff. I don't know if they're going to basically tell them, hey, you have to take it. So, if that's the case, of course, they're all going to take it. I mean, if health professionals, this and that, everybody says it's good. And I saw the thing that she posted too, by the way. That was fake.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, where'd you get it from?
I got it from Google.
You believe everything you see on Google?
This is why it's not fake. This was the response.
Say exactly what it was so people know.
So 4 people out of the 40,000 or however many thousand people that they ran the vaccine on had some complications after that, gave like cerebral palsy. Cerebral palsy. And the reaction I got from healthcare workers and healthcare professionals was that it could not be proven that the vaccine caused it. These issues, these complications. But what they also told me is they can't prove that the vaccine did not cause it. So, like for me, I think healthcare workers, doctors, nurses, are some of the greatest people in the world.
Absolutely.
I feel like pharmaceutical companies are some of the worst people in the world. And I feel like it's very political, it's very money driven, and there's no way that this vaccine can be clear and approved in 7 months. That's my personal issue. And I've had the flu before. I don't want to sound inconsistent, but
Can you speak up? What?
no, I don't like those kind of vaccines. I'm not a very big going to the doctor person anyway. But I've never got a flu shot. I'll
agree with that. I've had the flu shot twice. Both times I took it, I got the flu.
Well, they put the
yes, but some people don't get sick from it. But I was like, next day I was sick as a dog. So I'm sitting there like thinking, I did have this conversation with myself. I said, okay, well, if I get this vaccine, so the COVID's going to be in me? So like what? So that's something because I've gotten sick from the flu. So, I mean, I don't know. I just, at the end of the day, I mean, you're going to have hundreds of D, what's up, man? So, jumped in a little late, but it's all good though.
No, so this is what I'll say. Drink lots of water, get your rest, stay out people's face, stay out the way. And because it's just like that. It's just like getting bit by a snake, like a venomous snake.
Yeah, turn into Spider-Man.
No.
I know.
They inject you with the venom to help your body fight it. Like that's part of the the anti-venom is the venom. So I don't know, man. I'm just not into it. I don't think that sticking it in me is going to help.
Just off topic, like we've talked about this. We're definitely not letting our daughter take it. Well, she's not. I don't know that I want my daughter to take it either. But what if one of your kids a little bit older, so they have internet access. What if they came to you and said, "Hey, I want to take it"?
Especially not the first batch. Like
that's my thing too.
The average vaccine takes like 5 years to get approved, and it still has side effects. Like they just say, "Okay, we're okay with these side effects." Like. I don't know, man. I think it's an answer to calm people down and not to really like take care of the issue. Yeah.
And on top of that, there's other companies that are out there that are working to getting their vaccine approved and sent out and stuff. So and this is one thing that we're actually talking about at work. So this vaccine that you get, is this good for 3 months, 6 months? Like how long is it good for? So that's another thing that you have to consider too as well. But second batch,
we don't know because they just started working on it.
And also too, the good thing which what you said as far as with taking the second batch, we wouldn't have access to get it until at least April, May, June, maybe. So at that point, if there were any,
and the president said when it gets hot, it's going to go away anyway. So if we get to next summer, we got to be all right again, right? Can't go through 2 summers.
I don't know.
I'm just kidding.
We'll see.
But yeah, man, I'm all about choice. Just be educated in your decision. I'm not gonna do it. I ask my child's mom not to let them take it, let her take it. And my son's not taking it either. So if they choose to, that's it's a decision. But
yeah, it's real life stuff going on. So we'll see. Like I said, 6,000.
What can I say?
She did the laughing face this one. He was like, I don't know, I'm not embarrassed, I don't know. So yeah.
Yeah, man, I gotta ask these questions.
But yeah, I mean, other than that, man, shoot, that's about it. You got anything else?
No, that's it, man. I'm good.
Yeah. We'll catch y'all next week. Monday, NBA preview. Like, subscribe. Share. Post.
Comment.
Everything. Apple Podcasts. Wherever you get your podcast, YouTube, all that stuff. So we'll catch y'all next week. Peace.
We out.
Tripping.